yeas are 98, the nays are 2. The bill is passed.
There's the moment Thursday when the Senate overwhelmingly passed new sanctions on Russia in response to its interference in the 2016 election. That bill is now on the president's desk, faced with veto-proof majorities in both houses of Congress. The White House said late Friday that President Trump will sign it. Russia's Vladimir Putin had warned before the vote that new sanctions would prompt, quote, retaliation. So I spoke with Russia's deputy foreign minister on his country's response to the U.S. You were the one who notified the Americans that the Russians would be expelling American diplomats and technicians, closing down some facilities. So is this what President Putin was talking about in terms of retaliation?
Yes, it is. And I think this retaliation is long, long overdue. After the Senate, the day before yesterday, voted, or rather on the 27th of July, voted so overwhelmingly on a completely weird and unacceptable piece of legislation, it was the last drop. If the US side decides to move further towards further deterioration, we will answer, we will respond in kind. We will mirror this, we will retaliate. But my call and my whole point is, don't do this, it's to the detriment of the interests of the US.
Well, what are you talking about in terms of retaliation? Are you talking about possible sanctions, economic sanctions, punishing US businesses, banning consumer goods?
We have a very rich toolbox at our disposal. It would be ridiculous on my part to start speculating on what may or may not happen. We are not gamblers. We're people who consider things very seriously and very responsibly. But I can assure you that different options are on the table, and consideration is being given to all sorts of things, both symmetrical or asymmetrical, to use a very popular word in the world of diplomacy.
You said last November, just after the election, that there were contacts with the Trump team and that you knew most of the people from his entourage. What kind of contacts, and who were you talking about?
You have to go through all the hearings and all the material which is available by now for the Congress and for the general public. You'll have all the names.
But I'd like to hear from you, sir.
Right. If Ambassador Kislyak was not contacting some people on the other side, so to say, he wouldn't perform his functions as he should. He was not spying and he was not recruiting. If he did so, I would be now a prima ballerina of the Bolshoi Ballet, if you know what it means.
Recently came out that Donald Trump's son and top members of the campaign met with a lawyer with ties to Russia. Was Russia providing damaging information on Hillary Clinton to the Trump campaign?
All the information which we provide to anyone can be easily found in open sources. We are not doing anything to the detriment of the domestic developments or internal affairs of any country, the US included. The very fact that someone saw some Russian or Russians somewhere is now close to a criminal act, I think it's ridiculous. It's degrading for such a great country as the United States.
And what would it take to reset the relationship?
I think the political will is what is needed most in this situation. And I believe there are several areas where US and Russia can and should work together cooperatively. Non-proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, countering terrorism, illicit migration, trafficking in people, climate change, you name it. We are ready. We are stretching our hand forward. We are hopeful that someone on the other side, President Trump included, but also others, may see here a chance for a somewhat different way.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Deputy Minister.